Alright. Hello. Just setting things up. All right. Still trying to figure out how high I need this mic, and also where the stream actually is. Please pardon my mess. And are you working? Alrighty. Alright, I think it's all set up. I think I've linked to all of the things where I need to be. I'm gonna turn up the mic a little more. And I think that's right out of E. Okay. Alright, so that's me cutting myself off. Okay. Hey guys. How you doing? Let me pull up the schedule. Not as structured as last time, but still, if I don't have any structure, I won't even start these things. Haha. Any whoosies. I've pre-recorded some drawing of one of the next episodes today that I will start playing shortly, during which I'll be able to interact with chat because I won't be distracted with the drawing. And then later, I will be drawing a little in the newest iteration of Blender. Just something different. Before that, I have a couple of things that I will be announcing just to get them out of the way. First of all, if you are on Newgrounds, you might have seen this 30 minutes ago when I posted this. But I'm looking for a bit of help with voice work. I'm currently looking for someone to replace Shochapili, who is not able to do it anymore, the original guy. So I'm going to be asking for a voice match there, and then maybe later on there might actually be more that aren't just a voice match. But for right now, I put a post on Newgrounds, and I might make another one on Twitter where people can put their voice demos if you want to try out for that. And the second thing is I finally finished most of the stuff that's going to be going up on Etsy for Christmas season. And that'll probably go up tomorrow or Friday, depending on if I run into a snag. So, let me move my mic. I'm bumping it. Okay. So those are the two little announcements out of the way. Oh dear. So, alright, I'm gonna start up the video now. Okay. Alright, sound shouldn't be on. I don't think I recorded sound. Okay. So, let's pop into the chat and find out just how desperately I need glasses. I have fun Halloween, been doing Christmas shopping. My Halloween was uneventful, and I have not done Christmas shopping. I have done a bit of Christmas making stuff, but nothing yet when it comes to the stuff that has to be store-bought. Just wanted to say I've followed your Animation No Evil series for many years, and it's helped me grow in ways, learning some lessons demonstrated through your work. Oh, that's very, very, very nice to hear you say. Thank you so much for divulging. And I hope you continue to grow. And not necessarily because of me. Everybody should be blessed with growth. And there goes the chat, jumping ahead of me again. I get to see artist with new program. It's not that new. I was actually excited because I thought that it was going to be a huge overhaul, which is kind of needed for Grease Pencil, which is the application inside Blender that I use. But it did not change all that much yet. And I think that's because they put a little too much, a little bit, rather than biting off more than they could chew, they decided to err on the side of safe and release something that was functionally the same without adding any of the features they said they were going to. Okay, there were some of the new features that they said they were going to, but not the big overhaul that they had previously said was going to happen in Grease Pencil. Okay. Okay, Fananu. Yeah. As an indie animator, did you enjoy Amazing Digital Circus? I did enjoy, which is a lot because it's 3D and I am a salty Sam when it comes to 3D animation. But it's very pretty, actually. And reminds me a little bit of Reboot and Code Lyoko in seeming, which makes me happy. I like that the tooth guy kind of reminds me of Mike the TV. So I think that'll be fun when they get around to finishing more of it, which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be able to do. Okay. I want to grow, but I am only 5'7", lol. That's where you get platform shoes! No, seriously. Metaphor. Only a metaphor. Is it the blind man? No, Shochipili is the deaf one. Oh dear. Don't give me spinning wheel of doom. How dare you? Oh dear. Okay. Well. Might be a little bit too much to expect to be able to have that many screens open. Okay. Are we still running into snag? Okay, I closed that down. It doesn't look like it is... Doesn't look like the stream health is doing poorly on one of my things. Huh. That is weird. Oh. YouTube is giving me the business. You guys should let me know if I just randomly cut off. Anyway. Okay. I am trying to give this the best possible situation, YouTube. Okay, thanks, bye. Okay. Back to the chat. Whose hand is that? You're gonna have to wait and see. I think I actually go into a frame that shows it eventually, but eh. I am goblin. Do you guys have a Discord server that I could join? There are a couple fan ones floating around. They exist. I am in 2 of them. Oh shit. And now I am being attacked by the cat. Come here, you. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay. Yeah, there's a fan Discord. There's 2 fan Discords that I know of. There might be more. I will, if there's a way for me to link to them without the link wearing out or whatever, maybe I'll ask the folks that ask me to put them up on Tumblr or something. Okay. Please tell me how you've kept up the motivation to keep making the show for so many years. Well, measured expectations. First of all, there's folks that keep watching and keep interacting. So it just lets me know that folks still want to stick it around to the end, and that's kind of enough for me to go, yeah, this is probably an okay decision to keep going. I mean, the level is at a place where it does have to be a little on the slow side. But, yeah, it's pretty much, you guys have made it easy for me to believe, yeah, I should finish my thought. It's like, it's worth it. So thank you. Thank you for telling me. If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't know. Isn't that how life works? Is your connection iffy? A little bit. It's not quite cold out yet, so I didn't think that I would have funky internet yet. That usually happens in winter, but yeah, it's a little blustery outside, a little it's highly influenced by the weather around here, which is silly. Okay, hey, I remember you like Ronin Warriors. They've recently made new figures of them in Japan, but expect to be paying a good bit for them. Yes, always. Figures are always expensive. I love Heroid and Summer Troopers. I do. I do not have room for them on my shelf. But, nor do I have room for them in my wallet. Any whoosies. Skill at drawing hands. Yay! Practice makes permanent. And I like hand drawing. It's fun. It's like spiders at the end of your wrist. Do you have a name for crying corn? In my brain, as a working title. That's all you get. Okay. Think you'd ever pitch a show to Glitch? I don't know. That's the truth to answer about pitching anything. I don't know that I'd be very good at doing the pitch. It's like, I'm not terribly good at explaining myself with words. And it's like, I just might as well just do it and you'll get what I mean. Is kind of been my approach thus far. Which, weirdly, it really kind of disqualifies you for, like, asking for help from companies that are supposed to help. Even ones that seem to be a decent company. Like, Glitch looks pretty good from the outside. Yeah, they look like stand-up folks. So, the kitty cat is trying to say hi. He was trying to say, look at me instead of the monitor. He already got fed only just 10 minutes ago. So I don't know what his problem is. Aw, what is the cat's name? This one's Axel. Any tips for writing and world building, or are they systems you use for coming up with ideas? Okay, I do have one of those people that the brain just kind of goes, oh, what if this? And then goes on a fun little parade inside my own head. And I write some of these down, and then come back at it later and go, okay, what if any of this made sense? And then you write a set of rules. And I go, don't disobey this rule. Don't disobey this rule. Don't disobey this rule. More rules you make, the easier it is to move inside the rule set. At least as far as I've been doing thus far. I was like, this sounds a little silly, but a lot of it is having fun. Let yourself have fun for a little bit and then be serious about it a little bit after. Over here in the Midwest with winter in the morning, summer in the afternoon, and also been degrees past month. Yeah, similar-ish here in the I don't know if we count as Midwest. What would the deadline be for the voice act? Currently, not much of a deadline. I'm getting it out there so it's out there and I can start gathering people. The deadline might be when I find a guy, because it's a little a ways away before I actually need them, but I need to start looking, probably, so I don't go, oh no, I don't have somebody for this. That'd be bad. So yeah. And then chat jumped ahead on me. If you had the right resources, would you still stick to this kind of media, or would you switch to something else? I like hand-drawn animation. I think it's neat. I'm not as big a fan of live action or 3D just because they're like, I truly just like the looks of what 2D does most, even though I can logically tell myself, it would be better if this was in another medium because that would communicate the thought better. I do resign to the notion of, yes, it's successful even if I don't like it in certain things. So I love how much Nouvelle is translated in another language. First thing you did was take away community translations. Yeah, hated that they took that away. Drives me up the wall. If I was a nag, I'd go pester Tom over at Newgrounds and say, hey, cool, can you do this thing where we could have something similar to community captions? That would be fun. That would be great. I'd love you forever. Honestly, they'd probably be... They kind of already have the sort of raison d'etre that sort of seems like they could do it, not necessarily because the site's coded for it, but like, yeah, community helping and doing the art is kind of the shtick over on Newgrounds. So I was like, this is in your mission statement. That would be cool. How does Corn drink water if he causes him to switch? I have thought of this. He does it in the dark. Can't reflect if there's no light. I had that question figured out a long time ago. It was one of the first things I had to figure. Okay, alright. If I'm gonna do this stupid thing, what do I do? It's in the dark. He lives in a hole in the ground. It works. How do you plan on celebrating when you reach 50 episodes? I don't know. I don't think that far ahead. Okay, not as far as actual milestones of the job. It all blurs together. Thus, chat keeps skipping way ahead. Does writing things down help keep ideas and concepts solid in terms of bringing them to life? Yeah, honestly, it's really helpful. It just keep you from contradicting yourself. That's very important, because when you're in the middle of it, you're sick of it, of the writing, and if you decide that you want just a whole bunch of stuff in there, just all of the things, which I frequently do, you gotta write stuff down, because your brain is only so big and can only hold so much. And sometimes you outright forget that you did a thing. So you have to write it down and refer to it all the time and go, oh right, I did do that and make that rule. I should probably not contradict myself. Or you could be like L. Frank Baum and contradict yourself all the time and nobody cares. Whee! Key to good writing is found is give you permission to write badly. Yes, that is a thing. Fail faster. Put it down. Look at it. You'll see what's wrong with it. Put it down again. It gets a bit better. Put it down again. Gets a bit better. It won't get better until it's IRL. Which of your fudge butts are the most difficult for you to animate a storyboard for? Okay. They were about even. Each of them had a thing initially. When I started doing it, everybody had something that was kind of fiddly bit. That would become a problem. So everybody has something. But a new issue has occurred. If I had to say anybody, it would probably be Calamity, just because she was the one that was so mostly reliant upon how Flash works, and I have moved to Blender. So some things have gotten more fiddly on her because I no longer have a specific tool. That is the gradient. A gradient in Blender it does not agree with you. So I've been trying to kind of figure out a new way around it. And I've been trying, incidentally, every time I've been doing something different. It was like, does this work nicer? Does this work nicer? You can't, And it's just figuring out which one isn't going to be a bear. Lax AI guidelines and SAG-AFTRA new contract run everything. I'm glad to have indie studios and indie animators. It's like you keeping the acting profession and many jobs alive. Yeah, that's one thing that folks kind of don't think of about that whole AI thing is you get what you pay for. They're gonna get a lot of cheaper stuff, but it's not necessarily gonna be things that people want to buy. And methinks that might eventually bite them in the butt. Because, I mean, that sort of thing being just really, really bad, and then someone comes along and is doing really, really good, and is like, ooh, I like this thing much better, and look at how easy it is for me to get a hold of it. It's like, the people who are championing AI might have thought they had got a win, maybe, and got themselves a loss. But I'm, on the whole, a pretty optimistic person, so kind of. Oh, it keeps jumping ahead on me. Have you seen The Welcoming Nimona? I have not. I have not. I can't answer that question. Sorry, folks. Too sleepy and way past midnight. Good night, Bitsy, and I guess the rest of the chat. Good night to you. You might have already left. I'm a little behind in chat. How would one send a voice demo to see if they can do the voice? Because I don't have Twitter Blue. Huh. I don't know if Twitter has any kind of weird sort of requirement now. This is one of the reasons why I was kind of hesitant to do Twitter, but I probably put it on Newgrounds and also I think DeviantArt, just to have two other places. And if Twitter is weird about it, I might not even bother with them. I'll get around when I make up the posts to put it on the community comment thing on the channel. I think everybody can access that now at this point. How does it feel to be working on this series for over 10 years now? I don't know, like I got something done. That's kind of nice. If the spirits get a specific animal, and humans are technically an animal, does that mean there is a spirit with two human forms instead of an equal form? What an odd concept. Truly have not thought of that as a concept. But it is an interesting concept. How is a human symbolic of two humans? Because that's the long and short of it. Corn hides in his basement to drink water. Extreme do not turn another person. So what is in Corn's basement? Darkness. And corn cobs. It's like videos. Video games. Suck, suck, suck. Put it down, go to sleep, wake up. It's suddenly easy. Ah! That's everything, really. That's video games, that's exercise, that's... shoot. Every skill. Just all of them. Stop skipping ahead. You get down to a certain point on the chat, it just jumps ahead and then I lose my spot. What would happen if a meteorite that didn't land in a web was put in it after it landed? Well, after it landed, it's a rock. It's not a shooting star anymore. In one of the early episodes, Calamity mentioned being immune to Corn's venom after being bit a few times. Is she actually immune by this point? If so, that would be a plot point later. No, not immune. That was hyperbole. Trying to find a different art program? I'm not. I've found Blender, and I like it. How long to see a final listing before the studios give up on the AI actors and go back to hire human actors? I don't know, when some of them actually go away. Like, oh, our hubris. I don't know. I've never exactly been terribly knowledgeable in the sphere of large production studios. I take one long look at what they do and the little bit they do and I go, I don't want that. I'm gonna put it away from my brain. And then I ignore it. And it eventually goes away. Does the universe have Christmas or something akin to it? If so, which is get into the holiday spirit? Christmas as in it happens at Christmas? Just splatches of winter festivals. They don't exactly look like Christmas precisely. There's something similarly like Christmas. Like Christmas in gift giving, which was Nemuntemi, which happens in spring. But yeah. Stuff's shuffled around a bit. Okay. Do you ever go back to the beginning and rewatch the first episodes yourself? When I have to review something. Like, what did I do there? Okay, I'm gonna look at this old flash. Oh, look, an animation error. Yay! Can't fix it. It's on YouTube. Oh, it's jumping ahead again. Alright. Hello. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's bugging me again. The cat. Oh, jeez. He's bound and determined to knock something over. Does he sleep under corn cobs? Sometimes. How was Mama Spider born? Ooh hoo hoo. Isn't that a question? Some of these are spoilery, and I won't be answering them. Is Mama Spider Web strong enough to, say, handle a crashing Star Destroyer? Probably in the right condition. I don't know, that would probably take some prep time, though. And some other magical shenanigans. Remember, magical shenanigans are a thing. Who's your favorite character? Is it the teeth? I'm going to assume, since you mentioned Teeth Guy, it is, we're referring to Circus again. So far, I like the apathetic one with the triangle head. They was pretty fun. I don't remember anybody's name because I watched it once and I'm like, oh, this is cute. I'm going to make my brother watch it later. And then I never did. And so I don't remember a lot of the names because I need to watch things more than once for a name to stick in my head. Says the woman that gives the Aztec names to people. This is why I was like, the nickname thing is partly because of a double naming convention that I found just in looking up myths, and another thing is because I like to go easy on people because my brain works poorly with names too, so I sympathize. You know, a marry between the cool name and the nickname. Oh no! You like cats or dogs better? I get along better with cats. I don't, whether or not I like a beastie depends on the beastie's personality in general. How did you come up with threads of meaning magic system? Was it inspired by mythology, magic system, or just something you came up with? Oddly, the way that it is executed in the show is partly due to the magicification of some science. Just like, oh, this is how it works in order for me to magicify science. Hey, this is the fix for that problem. So I'm going with that for the structure. Science becoming symbolism is fun. Put him on the mic. What, the cat? He wouldn't do it on cue. He only whines when you don't want him to. Meow. Oh, he's not gonna talk to me. How many episodes in advance is your storyboarding? Okay, weird. Advanced? No, they're not in advance. They are out of order. Because they have been storyboarded according to who I'm probably going to get next for voice recording. Because I've started to do storyboard scripts because I think they'll read better than my horrible, full of spelling errors and weird direction scripts that I've been subjecting to people thus far. So I've storyboarded a bunch of stuff. It's a little out of order because of who I got first, and who I'm going to get first to help me out. How many episodes? And I've gotten, I don't know, I think I've done the storyboard for 6 episodes. A little rough. What would Calamity be if she was a bird spirit? She wouldn't be Calamity. What they are is kind of important. Spirits raised by humans and humans raised by spirits does not automatically come with baggage or just normal growing up. Yeah, that's probably just coincides with normal growing up stuff. In virtue of the fact that your folks never will 100% understand you, and you won't 100% understand your folks. Just like you won't 100% understand everybody, including me, who is got a mouthful of sand. My apologies. Are there any early designs for spirits that didn't make the cut? Kinda, sorta. I made up spirits, and I just don't have a spot for them. And I'm like, this one would be cool. There's nowhere to put you. There's a couple of them that are like that. And, a lot of character design is just like me going back through characters that I made up because, oh, this would be a cool character and I have nowhere to go with him. And I just kind of file them away and they stay there until I have a spot to go with them. Some of them didn't necessarily start out as like spirits of New Evil. They were just like a dude that I thought would be neat and they had no spot. And then they got kind of fitted to it because, oh, this would just go here if I changed one or two things. Taka the squirrel, Zubul. That sounds correct. Do other planets also have spirits? I would have to look a few things up before I would answer that with much confidence. My current thought is spirits as you know them, as you think of them in my show, do not exist anywhere else. I'm not going to discount the notion that that word might be used for another being. They could be born on this planet and go to another one, though. That's a possibility. Hui ex machina, nicknaming everyone for our sakes. True. He's so forward thinking. Ever seen a spin-off series of yours, or it's just other spirits in another place? I don't know if it would be a spin-off. It would probably be just like called the same thing, and well, this one's about this group of people in this area now. I don't know, Discworld, Terry Pratchett, where he would just do stuff in different areas of the world. On-off, non-canon episodes for characters with nowhere to go. Am I caught up? I might be about caught up. Stop moving. It's gonna start moving again. No! I gotta rub my eyes a minute. These awfully tiny words. It doesn't help that I'm sitting very far away from the monitor that has the chat on it. Okay. No! Okay. Some of these are a little bit, if I answer it, it could be construed as a spoiler. So. If it's a spoiler, I understand, but will we ever hear Schizo speak? There's one I don't feel bad about letting you know if I set up an episode in the past. That would be a surefire way if you would ever hear them speak. Could someone cause one to be born on purpose? So spirits are born basically at random, but represent things. So every spirit happens in an accident. But could someone cause them to be born on purpose? I mean, Mama is causing them to be born on purpose. Technically, she's like, I want these things to be born, so I have purposefully put out these webs. Ha. But I guess someone could make, I don't know, a lacrosse stick out of Mama Spider's web and try to catch a falling star like a maniac. This might work. Any good books you read lately? Yes, I have. I mean, was reading some, just grabbed a compilation of Edgar Allan Poe short stories from the library just to re-peruse them. Haven't read them in a really long time. Some of that is very Twilight Zone. Wow, that would be wild, wouldn't it? Which is entertaining. A lot of old stuff is very, well, wouldn't it have been just wild if this happened? That's fun. True Grit was an interesting read. Hello, you. Okay, come on. You're gonna knock something over. Shoot. Have you tried slow-mo mode? Are we talking about the chat? Because I'm sure it's already that way. I think that's supposed to be that way defaulted. But, it's just that every time I kind of get towards the bottom, the chat jumps way ahead, and it's not where I saw it before. There's Star Wars happening in the chat. I don't know Star Wars. Are there spirits in another part of the world that we have not seen and will affect the story of evil? Yeah. Yes. No more than that, because spoilers. Interested in a new Disney movie? No. Okay, I haven't seen a big animated thing in a really long time. The ones that I'd be interested in are usually foreign. You stream? I do. Usually once a season. Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, that wasn't a very good plosive earlier. I'm guessing you mean the hot air balloon story. That one, and also the one where there's a hole in the middle of the sea, which is literally a song. There's a hole in the middle of the sea. I'm thinking my brain is playing There's a Hole in the Middle of the Sea the whole time this guy is on his terrifying sea journey. It's tough for me to take it seriously. And I'm like, I ruined it. I've caught up again. Okay, with Corn being split as he is, they both see things going on around, don't they? Or is it just whomever is in control? They see whatever they're looking at. And you can rest assured that the being that is currently in the mirror will see out from the mirror. As if looking through a window. If that is at all confusing. Will this stream be on the channel after? Hope so. Barring no weird technical issues. We're coming close to my recorded stuff. How would spirits react to a child giving them a random hug because the child loves their nacophone? Depends on the person. I don't know, someone like Paula would probably react well. I'm so sorry you've been drawing hands for an hour. I'm not drawing them. I already drew them. I like drawing hands. I'm a weirdo. Oh, and there's the end of my video. On my end. Probably been asked before, but his brother wants strong connected to no evil. I'll answer this one really quickly. Still, I have not contradicted myself there, I don't think. Pretty sure I haven't. Pretty sure everything's still kosher. It's so far, far in the future that I don't know that I'll really mess with my set in Brother Swan, even though Brother Swan is... Oh, you think no evil is complex. Just... Brother Swan is built on the backbone of high school me. I had no limits. Remember first finding your series a couple years ago and then rediscovering it a couple weeks ago and being shocked but excited it was still going. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. It's really weird. Like, folks go, and then, like, 5 years later, they come back. That's kind of neat. Alright. Let me see. Alright. Okay, so. Now it's come to the point where I am... going to fart around in Blender a while. I wanted to, kind of, sorta, tool around in here with something a bit more, oh, I want one. A bit more, dang it. I only need this one. Okay. Just try to do an animation inside of Blender without the restrictions that I've placed on myself because of Flash. And to see what Blender could really do. So, that's kind of what I've been farting around with. It's not going to look like too much like Flash, except I mean, it's not gonna, well, I might look a little vectory because it's also a vector program, but I'm just to see what Flash not Flash, Blender 4.0 really could do. And it turns out that 4.0 is not much different than the 3.4 that I was working with. So far, I haven't run into anything different, but I don't think the difference is in the bones of Grease Pencil itself. I think it's in kind of the ancillary stuff and how much better it works. I don't know. We'll see. This is what I have. I'm gonna go ahead and make this bugger invisible right now because it's not a thing, but this is what I've done thus far. I just did this today just to start working on it because I didn't think I'd want to work from a sketch. I'd want to kind of have some of it done. Trying to make use of the 3D a little bit more. Yahoo! 0. I'll screw around a little bit. Okay. And I was in here. Draw mode. And I think I'll move back to 1. Didn't realize you could do normal animation in Blender. That's actually really cool. Normal animation, they say. It's normal until you get into it. Because it was like, as Blender goes, highly recommend it for anyone working in 3D. No! That was the wrong button. Because as a 3D program, pretty solid. Doesn't really fight with you. Dang it. Strength. Way too strong. There we go. That's better. And I do not like working in 3D programs. I didn't like fighting them. And I worked in 3D in this program, and I didn't have really any problems. Do, 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 do. That's not enough. Do, 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 do. By the way, now it's me working, which means I'm not really looking at chat as much anymore. Okay. So I'm probably gonna miss a lot of what folks say. Need to look at these buggers right now. Here we go. Control C, Control V. Ha! Actually, I think that was Shift D. probably a better way to do this. Why did I go into edit mode? That's what I want. Oop. I didn't even notice you scream, Axel. Right, I want you. And he's up on the thing again. Oh, shoo. that's an interesting bit of what just happened. Okay. Now that is odd. Nope, not you. See, when there's a layer, that's the funky part about working in 3D. Arrange, bring to front. Okay, there we go. It's got a set order in Grease Pencil, and it doesn't matter if it looks like it ought to be above, unless you literally put it above. It's not going to put it in the correct location. Okay. Wow, that's awfully pale. Let's pop that up. I want that one. I think I'll go with just pencil. And I have to change the color again. You, I keep pushing the wrong button. Wow. Holy, yeah, that's so big. Alright. What I want is sculpt mode. I want strength. Don't I? I do want strength, right? Oh, that's odd. What about... Oh, of course. There's my problem. You can push a button and limit what's being colored or being affected, but watch out! You'll forget that you did that. Okay, I actually should put this edit mode. Put you on another layer. Ring. Okay. Oh, he's screaming. All right. See what happens. When I do this. And I want regular, and I want solid. Ugh. Nah. Ooh. Eh. The cat is meowing. He certainly is. I like that. Edit mode. Multi-frame. Hello. Are you announcing your presence? Mm-hmm. Okay. Nibbit. Yeah, this is only gonna work if I do this a certain way. Alright, I'm gonna take off multi-frame for right now. Probably could do it the other way. Having frames off slightly. But I don't feel like putting that much effort in on a test. There are several things I'm testing, by the way. I never did get around to saying it. One, I wanted to test how well my computer could handle the new stuff, and I'm breaking about even here. It seems to be about, it bogs my system down about as much as it did before, which is but I haven't farted around in any kind of limitations that might be present in the new thing that make it easier on derpy computers. The other thing that I wanted to test was I was gonna make a bunch of an animation with thinner line just because I wanted to see if a certain thing that used to happen that made in the rendering process that made things, the line boil weirdly. See if that goes away at all. It's kind of the thing that Flash got right the first time and stayed right the whole time, is that the render, the exportation, there's no, the line fidelity remains pristine in Flash. It's kind of wild. No other program really kind of pulls it off. I mean, the 3D aspect of Blender, the quote-unquote line that is created by the 3D objects are pretty pristine, but the actual grease pencil ones are not necessarily. Alrighty. Do, 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 do. I'm just gonna... I'm combining layers because I don't care. Whee! One of the updates that was supposed to happen was the ability to group layers, and I don't know if that's something that I have to turn on or what. But it's not turned on. And it doesn't seem to be there. Alright. I haven't got anything turned off, do I? Okay, good. Because that would suck. Alright. Actually, let's do this clever, shall we? Did I count that wrong? I feel like I did. I did do that wrong. Okay. It's not 45, it is... Hey. Brain refuses. There we go. 30. He's screaming. Can you hear him scream? I love how I got to this point, at the point where I have to be fiddling around with shapes instead of actually drawing. Oops. R. No. R. 120. Okay, yeah, alright. Having to do math in my brain. This is probably wreaking ruination. R. 120. 30. Okay. Oh. 30. 30. He's a screaming. What did I do? R 90. Okay. R 120. Oop. All right. Interesting. Aces. I kind of don't want that to show up. All right. Times. Let's put this down. Oh gee. I never got rid of that. I don't need the lines. Okay. 1. R. 90. 7. R. 20? No, I want R negative 20. Oh, okay. That's where origin is. And 1. And size. And 7. Yeah, okay. And edit mode. And everything. And I want it centered on origin. This is very important. He's very important. Object node. That origin is in front of the origin on another object. Boat. I'm gonna push you behind a skosh. Otherwise, they start clipping into one another. Am I at 1? I need to be over here a bit. 7. 1. Way. Yar. And it looks very flat, but after I put the animation where it ought to be, having the camera focus always be on a certain object that shouldn't flatten things on accident. Okay, 1, tab, edit mode, everything, Z-axis. That looks about centered. Oh, edit mode, object mode, that's what I want. And I have let's look at some of this. And I'm gonna fart around in that later, maybe. Hello. Goodbye. Cat. Looks like a Greek ship. It kind of was the starting idea. Combination of a Greek ship and some really weird Art Nouveau illustrations. Alright. I'll add a loop on that eventually. I don't actually know how to loop that contemporarily. I am going to... What are the modifiers? I'm going to put in a noise modifier just for funsies. This pop-up strength and thickness. Noise is fun. Noise is a fun modifier to throw on things. I like it. Okay. Object mode. I'm gonna go to the dope sheet. Okay. Alright. That's where it ought to be. And I'm going to rotate on the no, that's not what I want. Let's get on 7. Rotate. X, X. No, I don't want that. Rotate. Y, Y. Oh, okay. Rotate. Z, Z. Alright, that's where Z went. I went cockeyed. What an odd thing that happened. Let's rotate it on this one. Huh. Whoop, wrong button. Oop. That is the wrong button. Okay. In order for me to do the thing that I want to do, I'm going to have to fix origin, which I am unsure of how to do. So I'm going to put that off till later. The stupid oars turned out so well, it put me into a false sense of security. Interesting. Okay. That's what's wrong. Right. So what I need to do is rotate on the... Okay. Should be rotating on the y-axis. Edit mode. There's probably a way to do this that is more technical. But I'm just gonna do it by hand. 'Cause... This probably didn't fix me, but whatever. Okay. It's rotating uniformly now. R90. Wrong one. RX90. 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 I randomly came upon your video, sick animation art style. Thank you, Nox. I'll have another look at the chat while I'm resting my eyes a minute. Yeah, that's good for my eyes. The tiny words. Alright. So much talk of the cat. Any hoosies. The cat had ran off to have a pity party in the other room. Okay. Does not have animation data in it. Anyway, okay. That is currently how you add a loop in Blender. You have to use the modifier time offset, custom range, and then your distance. There might be more to it that you can faff with. You can have it be on only one layer. I really only need it on the oars, but I'm not going to put a limitation. Alright, and this one I'm going to add a loop. Range. Okay. Can't do that with this thing because this is actually a 3D model moving, so... Are you back where you were? No, you're not. Oop. RX90. Okay, now you're back where you were. Screaming boy is screaming. Oops, I did not mean to do that. And you actually have to have a rotate modifier as well. Time offset. Custom range to 19. I don't know if it's even visible. Will I be able to see it? There we go. What made me start with Blender? Well, I started Blender... Well, frankly, Flash wasn't quite gone yet. People are still using Animate to animate, but my version of Animate was like one of those you buy permanently licensed things. Like, I still had CS3 and CS6 for a while there. Hello, kitty. There we go. And it was starting to become too old for the computer. So I'm like, I'm just gonna start put my feelers out, try and find an animation program in which I can emulate the look of Flash, because I've committed to the look and I didn't want it to be too jarring when I switched to a new program. Did this start going backwards? It might. It does. Oops. I'm gonna have to fix that. In Usies. I know why it does that. So I've switched to a new one. And I like Blender. It has been a lot of fun to work with. I feel like I have room to work. Flash... excuse me. Flash was a very small workspace. And it also did not have blending modes, which I really like blending modes. There were other things that it would fight me in certain just dumb little stuff, and Blender fights me on a whole different slew of other stuff, but it was less cumbersome. So instead of waiting for Flash to just straight up die and not work on my computer, I jumped in pretty straight away. Anywho's, I'm thinking I might cut off in about 15 minutes, so why don't I maybe do some questions. If anybody has any further questions to close out the stream. I'll finish this thing up and put it somewhere. This weird random doodle that has to move. Well, this is the first episode made with Blender. The first episode I utilized Blender was One for Sorrow, I think. I don't know that it's... I don't remember which one's the first one that was done entirely in Blender. It might be... I don't have to look that one up. Because I was in... Took forever to transition into it. Let me actually look at it and tell you the right answer. Yeah, it's Man in the Mirror is the first one I actually used Blender for an episode. I did some test ones that were like little extras that utilized Blender, just kind of trying to learn the program. And then fully using it as of Man in the Mirror. How... the logistics of some of these questions. We know that if a shooting star lands in one of Ma's webs, it becomes a spirit, but what of the opposite? What if man's web fell from orbit and landed on a rock? Would a spirit be born? No. It's still a rock. It being defined as a shooting star is part of the important thing. Infrared smiles, spirits thread their skin. So what did they do with it? The little icon doodad. I feel like it's getting in the way of reading. Have you considered making a 3D animated show? I have not! Okay, if I was to make a 3D animated show, it was because I wrote a show and someone else animated it. That isn't me. Thank you, Damien, for bumping up the chat. He's like, I have not, because I haven't animated anything in 3D. Like, actually using 3D properly, not this cardboard cutout nonsense that I'm doing in here. Since college, so that's 2008 or something, and I did it in Maya, and that's a stain. I'm sure it probably would be kind of fun in Blender, but I haven't got around to like trying to rig anything or do anything of that nature in a 3D program. Not even rigging a 2D puppet. Frankly, I never did that in Flash either. I never did care for puppets either. Okay. Do the reptiles shed their skin? If so, what do they do with it? Throw it away. There's probably something to that. Calamity moves water, Hui finds things, and Ichabod does lightning, but who will the fourth fork user be? That would be a spoiler. Spoiler. Hi, Screamy. He's yelling at me again. He's getting impatient for the end. How would Calamity react to meeting other lizard spirits? Same way she reacts to meeting anybody, really. It's like, I'm gonna check you out for a little bit and see if I like you. I know Hui would love a random hug from a child, but how would Calamity, Kitty, or Rip, or Winkle react? Rip would be annoyed. Winkle would be polite. Kitty would also be annoyed, but for different reasons. Calamity would probably ask them if they wanted to see something cool and then do something insane. I don't know. Screaming cat. Yeah. Yeah, he's being blocked from going into a room he wants to go into, and that's why he's yelling at me, I think. How would they react if they saw our modern technology? Like, cool, what is this? It depends. Some of them would show more interest. Ichabod would probably show more interest. Just because he likes to know how things work. Just in general. Hui would show a lot of interest. Because he likes to make things. And he would try to make a horrible version of whatever technology that you saw. That somehow works better and worse. Probably gonna tell you how Paula got Babe. Like in the show. I don't think the high five has necessarily been invented yet in No Evil. When we get to see more Icky, he's my favorite. He's gonna show up. He will. Hello. Hello. Bingley bells. Poppies have reversed effects on lizards. What other well-known magical things are reversed? I'm gonna have to address that one case by case. I think I have the poppies being reversed is entirely based on the reality of lizards being cold-blooded. I should probably actually write up a diagram of why that works, rather than try to explain it with my terrible words. But it is hinging on the cold-bloodedness. What are the spirits' favorite flavors of pie? I don't know. I don't actually. Okay, before saying that, I actually should make sure and say the correct things that are actually from the Americas. Like, pumpkin pie is gonna be a favorite because pumpkins are in the Americas. But I always have to refer and double check and make sure that a plant is actually from the Americas before we're saying, yeah, they have this thing. And I don't really have it up. Lots of berries. Gonna be a lot of favorite berry pies. Because that's what the Americas got. They got berries. And jicama. Oh, I wonder what a jicama pie would taste like. Is corn diamondback rattlesnake or another variety of rattlesnake? I think I was referencing the diamondback when I was drawing him up, yes. are some animal spirit forms that you have considered for the show but didn't use yet? Oh, but if I use them, then the surprise will be removed. I guess it's no biggie mentioning that I like vultures, and I like vulture myth, and I currently don't exactly have a spot for them. And I have one waiting in the wings, but meh. You are knocking the cord, you little monster. Are amphibians backwards as well? They would be, yes, because they're cold-blooded. I can't believe you can hear him purring. It's been a long stream. Normally I would have cut it off a little sooner than this, but I wanted to work in Blender. Yeah, he's a loud little man. Yikes. Okay. Alright, that's enough of that. Oh, jeez. Are there spirits for animals that are currently extinct? I'm not writing it off as an impossibility. If I can make the mythological argument for it. I don't remember where dodos are from. I truly do not remember. I am pretty much limiting it to the Americas, though. Alright. Well, that's that. Well, it's about time I cut things off. So, raccoon spirit, definitely raccoon spirit, possible. Anyway. So, yeah. I'm gonna cut things off. I will be making some news posts probably tomorrow when I've gathered all the information together. So with that, I will see you all later.